Hello everyone on the internet. Lately I've seen a lot of comments claiming that the Trump supporters at DC were masked Antifa members. I decided to make this video explaining how that doesn't even make logical sense. So I recently read this comment about an individual pointing out how some Trump protesters were wearing hoods. By pointing out this distinction, he is more or less hinting to the fact that the Trump supporters that were in DC were indeed Antifa. First off, even while they had their hoods up, they did not traditionally cover their face like most masked Antifa members would. Secondly, you could also easily explain this in as an pointless effort to hide their identity, since I don't know, maybe because they knew that they were doing something extremely illegal? Further, there was also a select few that did indeed had their hoods up. Although their faces weren't exactly covered, making them easily identifiable. Not just that, but this whole thing goes against what the general public establishes about masked Antifa. For one, they're cowards, and for two, they are either extremely overweight and or skinny. Now I don't know about you, but I saw some decent sized guys through the live coverage I've seen on the news, not all of them of course, but enough for it to be a no-brainer. Also, masked Antifa do not, and I repeat, do not cooperate or respect law enforcement. Yet in some instances you could see people taking photos with said law enforcement, making their whole statement about anti-police and anti-government pointless. As such, even if they were masked Antifa, they wouldn't be identified as such this point forward, thus making their affiliation towards the group null and void. And for the people who still don't believe, for the people who are dead set on the belief that Trump supporters can't be violent, I have two things to tell you. One, the Proud Boys, who are a violent sexist group, and two, just look in the description of this video and that alone is all the proof a rational human being needs. That's it for the video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, what would be more believable, least for me, is that the so-called Trump supporters were simply actors hired by both Republicans and Democrats. And that the only reason they did this is to further divide us on two fronts. One being political, and one being racial. That is all for now. Stay safe.